Are you ready for a bedtime story? Okay, close your eyes. The title of this story is The Day Everyone's Dreams Came True. I woke up one morning and the sun was shining, the clouds had parted, and it even rained a little bit and the rays of the sun were shimmering off the raindrops. And I even heard a rooster crow because I'd always wanted to be born on a farm. But even though I was in the city, I had a chance to hear a rooster crow early in the morning. And I came downstairs after brushing my teeth and washing my face and freshening up with the beautiful bathroom, freshly laid with marble and golden faucets and sweet string instrumental players playing in the background. They couldn't see anything in the bathroom, but they were there. They were off in the corner, behind one of those doors where you can hear the music through, but they can't see, one of those mirror things. But I came downstairs to a breakfast with pancakes piled high all the way up to the ceiling and beautiful maple syrup, like from Camden, New York, or when some people in Detroit, Michigan, like their maple syrup. But anyways, it was a beautiful, marvelous breakfast. Then I headed out for school. Walked outside, the lawn was beautiful and green. There was a Mercedes parked inside the driveway, a car for everyone in my family. It was absolutely beautiful. And I looked over to the left to see the neighbor and Mr. Johnson, and there he was, as always. He was getting his newspaper up off the ground. He waved hello, I waved. Everything was great for me. I had on a brand new shirt and some new clothes, and it was, the most expensive stuff, from JCPenney, American Living. And everything was just awesome. And then I got on the bus and I saw the bus driver, and she smiled as she always did. And, the bus sounded wonderful. I mean, the bus came on time. I always wanted the bus to come on time. And I went down to my seat, and there was my friend, and there he was, as always. And he smiled and said, "What's up?" I asked him how he was doing, and he was fine. Everything was okay. He just said there was a little animosity at home, but, he was ready for the spelling test that was coming, because I always wanted spelling test to be on Tuesdays instead of on Fridays, because we're going to fail him anyway, right? No, I'm kidding. But I prefer to get the test over early in the week so you can just coast through the rest of the week. But anyways, the bus driver drove as always, and everything was, wonderful for me. And, some people were complaining, and, a fight started on the bus. The twins, they always like to start stuff with the twins on the other side of the aisle. So you had these two girls with red hair were badgering the boys across the aisle, the two Asian boys, and so they decided they broke into little skirmish, and the bus driver stopped them as always. But it was good because I always wanted the bus driver to stop them really, really early before they started pulling out those Barbie dolls, because when they started pulling out that and the kids started pulling out their little squirt guns, everyone would get wet on the bus. But the drive was fine. It took a little less time. I always wanted the bus to take less time to get to school, not for the reason you think. But anyways, then I got out, we got to school, and as always, the flag was flying half-mast, because the ROTC department wasn't done pulling it up. So eventually got to the top, and which was neat because I always wanted to see them raise the flag up. And we saw the school, the janitor was outside, asked him how his day was, because everyone asked him, because he's a really cool guy, and he had retired from the military, many years of service. Probably served in World War II, but I'm kidding. He said it was okay. He said his arthritis was, flaring up a little bit, but, thank God he's healed and stuff like that. And, like his response was the same as always. And, but everything was great for me. I always wanted to have a chance to talk to him a little bit longer because we got there a little bit earlier. That's why I wanted to, get there earlier. And, because he liked to play chess. And so from time to time we would play chess and we listened to the Boston Symphony on the radio. And then after that, went into class, the bell rang. Had plenty of time to get to the locker, do the morning debriefing with what happened everyone's day. Everyone's day was kind of pretty much the same, but I was having a wonderful day because, it was like, some of them were like, yeah, you must have had a really good night last night. So yes, really, really cool day. And everything was going perfectly to schedule. And then got to the first period class in English. And of course we passed the test with flying colors because she gave us a cheat sheet. She said she didn't feel like erasing the words off the board. So she said, sometimes, the answer is going to be for you right there in life. So, you have to choose the right answers. you know, like God said, here's life and death, choose what's right. So she had the words up on the board. Well, all but one, but you know, that was an easy word. We spent all Monday working on it. And then we went through the book, The Red Badge of Courage. I always wanted to read that book, and we had a chance to read it in class. So we sat down and read that, you know, passed it around. Now, I never liked to have the kids who didn't want to read because, you know, one person, you know, she's in the drama club, and she said she had to save her voice. And then the other dude in the background, Mark, that kid was a singer, so he was just like, I don't have time for this. I mean, and then of course the football players, you know, one of them wants to study Shakespeare and all, but he just was busy with practice, so he didn't feel like reading either. So class went great, went to math class, canceled the quiz. Oh, praise God, glory to God. And then everything was great. And then I went to biology, you know, and you know, Mr. Voth was there. It was a wonderful time, and he was teaching as always, had a good time. The class went great. The notes were easy. The handwriting was legible. But I always wanted the handwriting to be legible. And then we moved on to music. Oh, and there was the band, and everyone came on time, and everything went beautiful and perfectly. There was no little ranting session from the clarinet section. And then of course, you know, the strings, you know, sometimes they would walk in and out, but this time they stopped and listened to us because we played an aria from one of those Puccini operas, and it was beautiful. And you know, then the choir director came in and said some stuff, and there was, you know, they're gonna say we're gonna go to, you know, the national capital this spring, and everyone's trip is paid for, yay! And so that was great. I always wanted that to happen, and you know, a beautiful band time. Then we moved the chorus. Oh, that was wonderful. It was heaven on earth. Oh, Jesus himself might as well have been there. And the choir sounded good. No one was late, and no one was missing. Well, you know, some of the show choir people, they were busy signing their contracts with Walt Disney and RCA and MCA, so you know, they couldn't be there. But the class went wonderful. Everyone sounded great. Then we moved on to history. We watched a little bit of a war movie, and we had a chance to read a little Newsweek magazine. And you know, sometimes I remember reading Newsweek earlier on in the year and wanted to do it again. So you know, it was cool. We had a chance to do that. And then we had we read a little bit out of USA Today, which is an awesome newspaper. You know, we did that from time. And then we moved on to the last class of the day, which was PE, which was good because no one had to dress out. Yay! We just kind of chilled out inside the gym, but instead of like not doing anything, we actually everyone had a chance to just walk around the gym, you know, for the whole like 45 minutes bouncing basketball, so everyone could get, you know, their skills working or whatever you call it. So that was just marvelous, and we had fun. It was a good, beautiful day. And then of course, school let out exactly at 3 o'clock, and the buses were all there. The middle schoolers were all there. You know, they were all there, and they were quiet. They weren't throwing those oranges out at the kids who came back from the carpenter shop, because you know, sometimes they throw the oranges, and the kids from the carpenter shop would take the stuff they built and they shoot it back at the kids. You know, it was really cool. But you know, sometimes oranges would hit stuff, you know, like the side of the theater and stuff like that. But anyways, it was wonderful. And you know, my friend was there. He had a great day. I always want him to have a really, really good day, because you know, that was, you know, something I always wanted him to have. And then of course, you know, the girls who sat next to us, we had a marvelous discussion about what happened on the O'Reilly Factor the night before, which was really interesting because most of the time they don't watch that. But anyways, it was always something I wanted to do, and got home to a beautiful cooked meal. And you know, well, of course we had little peanuts or something before in the afternoon, but we had a beautiful meal, had all my homework done, had a chance to take a shower, read the beautiful book. Everything fell into absolute 100% perfect place. Then by 9:30 I went to bed. It was beautiful. And there was the stuffed, you know, American Eagle, you know, and then there was the claymation one. Not the claymation one, it was one of those fire ones. Anyway, one that was really, really nice. And it was a beautiful day. It was absolutely wonderful. And I went back and thought how everyone's day was exactly the same as before, except for mine. Then I realized today was the day that everyone's dreams came true. But the only people who had made a wish was me and you. Good night.